the Sturmpanzerwagen A7V Tank. Germany was unusually slow to realize and develop a tank, considering that in 1916, the British and French had introduced tanks on the battlefield. When the British used their new tanks at the Battle of Flers-Courcelette in September 1916, the Germans, shocked, finally realized that they needed to design their own tank. The specification for the tank would be a maximum weight of 30 tons, be based on the Austrian-made Holt chassis, have the ability to cross ditches up to 1.5 meters or 4.92 feet wide, to reach a top speed of at least 12 kilometers an hour or 7.5 miles per hour, and be armed with a cannon at the front and rear and have several machine guns. The committee, under these requirements, produced the Sturmpanzerwagen A7V, the A7V referring to their department. The A7V resembled a large armored box hull atop tracks and suspension from a Holt tractor that had been modified by Joseph Vollmer. The length of its tracks were short, which gave the tank poor off-road speed, and its high center of gravity meant that it could easily get stuck or tip over. The armor on the A7V was between 15mm or 0.59 inches to 30mm or 1.2 inches thick. Its armament was a 57mm gun at the front and 6 Maxim machine guns. The crew was a minimum of 18. All of these specifications contributed to its nickname of the Moving Fortress by the British. Production of the A7V began in October 1917, with 100 units ordered while training was going on. The first A7Vs went into battle in March 1918, providing support for the infantry north of the St. Quentin Canal. 3 of the tanks suffered mechanical problems before they even had a chance to enter combat, and the lack of trench crossing ability meant the active tanks were soon lagging behind the infantry. On the 24th of April 1918, 3 A7Vs engaged in tank versus tank combat, which was the first of its kind. They went against 3 Mark IVs, 2 females and 1 male tank. Both sides' tanks were damaged, but the male Mark IV was able to hit and knock out one of the A7Vs. The 2 remaining A7Vs in turn withdrew. The A7Vs saw further combat, but the Germans preferred to use captured British tanks for their better off-road performance. Unfortunately, only 20 out of 100 A7Vs were built, making it more of a propaganda device than an effective impact on the battlefield. The A7V was the only German tank in World War I to be used in combat. Other variants include the Überlandwagen supply carriers and the experimental A7V/U, which tried to reproduce the all-terrain capability of the British tanks with all-round tracks and sponsons. Watch our other videos to learn more. Get your copy of Simple History World War I, available on Amazon now.